A reasonable question for any prospective client to ask is, do I even need a lawyer? And the considerations that go into that are, how seriously were you injured? Are you needing regular medical attention? If you've treated a few times, but you're all better inside a few weeks of a car crash, you probably don't need a lawyer. And you're welcome to call me, and I'll give you some free advice, and I'll tell you what words you should use to maximize the recovery the insurance carrier will give you if they perceive that you know what's going on. If your case is more involved, more medically involved, then oftentimes you ought to be seeing a lawyer. You should be calling a lawyer as soon as possible after a wreck. The worst thing that will happen will be you'll get some free advice and get an understanding of what it is that you have to do, who are you responsible to talk to. For example, you have absolutely no obligation, and I discourage people from talking to the at-fault insurance carrier because they have nothing to lend you. In fact, all they're doing is trying to take your statement to undermine your claim and suggest that you're the one who is at fault in having caused the wreck. Instead, under Oregon law, your own car insurer is the one who's responsible for your medical bills and wage loss in the first year after a wreck. So under Oregon law, your own car insurer will pay up to $15,000 in medical bills necessarily caused by the wreck. Also, if you miss more than 14 days consecutive work, they'll pay your wage loss up to $3,000 a month or 70% of what you otherwise would have made, whichever is less. So a lot of folks think, well, I got rear-ended. I don't want to talk to my car insurer. It might affect my rates. It won't. But they have that concern, and then they talk to the third party, the carrier who's responsible, who insures the bad driver, and they give them statements, they give them releases without realizing that the insurer for the bad driver isn't going to do anything for them until it comes time to fully resolve the claim. So all you're doing is helping that carrier pay as little as possible down the road. Those people might seek medical records which have nothing to do with your injuries from this wreck. So one needs to be careful, and one really ought to probably seek legal advice. I've been doing this every day for 30 years now. A lot of people have never been involved in a car wreck. So if nothing else, you can pick my brain and get a free steer as to where you're going and what the steps are in the process to ensure that you protect yourself. If it's appropriate for you to come in and visit, we'll do that. There's no cost associated with doing that. If not, I'll tell you what it is you should do, and I'll suggest you give me a call back. In certain instances, it's apparent that the accident is of such severity and the injuries are so bad that you clearly need a lawyer. And in that situation, I'll tell you that, and we'll meet. And if we get along and like one another, I'll sign you up and I'll go to work for you.